Okay. Please, can you see my screen? Hello.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay. But before I
Yes.
start, I wanted to ask Shadrach a question with regards to the AWS. Yeah, quick one before we continue, if that's permitted.
Sure. Go ahead.
So, so I was watching the videos, the past recordings, and in one of the videos, you said we shouldn't use for our AWS console, we shouldn't use a root user email, but that's what I use. So I just want to ask why we shouldn't do that and how to change it if we have to.
Okay, who wants to answer? Which of my disciples will answer?
Okay, so I'd like to answer.
Yes.
Okay, so with the root account, in case somebody gain access to it, that means he has complete access to the total account. That means whatever you do, you will not be able to retrieve it. But if you make, how will I put it? It's like we have the head, then the other accounts that we are supposed to create are the sub ones. So maybe if you have intentions for testing, you create a different user. You have intentions for developing something, create a different user. So based on security wise, in case somebody has access to those accounts, you can equally this one rectify it through the main account. That's the what's the name? What did you even mention? Like
root,
the root
root,
account,
root.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can rectify it through the root account, maybe by disabling it, or yes, by disabling it or deleting the account. But in case the person has your root account logins, then he has total control of your AWS account, and he can equally change some settings to it, and you wouldn't be able to have access. Then before you know, you are owing a lot of money. Maybe it's just deploying stuff and doing whatever have you, and you can't rectify it. The only thing you just have to do is cancel maybe your card, this one, because you obviously be using the money in your card, or you report the account for them to shut it down. But if you are using other accounts aside the root account, in case something like that happens, you can easily control it so that it doesn't escalate.
Okay. All
So
right.
this,
Thank you.
and then the solution is to create an IAM admin. You can use an admin account instead. How do you know about that?
The I am yes.
Yeah, you just create an IAM user and give that user maybe admin access. Then instead of ever touching the root account just keep the credentials somewhere that you don't even go or no one will even see or you don't use often, right? Then you would rather be using the IAM admin account. It also has equally has, let's say, full access to do everything. But in case that one is compromised, you can use the root, you can log into the root account and delete that one and create a new one. But when your root account, as he's saying, is compromised, what can you do? The only thing you can do is maybe to go to your bank and go and block your credit card or something. But still, you may have a lot of resources in the AWS accounts because the person has compromised your account and changed the password. So right now, if all your applications, all the hard work you've done for about 3, 4 years is on that AWS account, maybe lucky for you, some of the codes are on GitHub. But the real things that you have deployed, infrastructure you have deployed, maybe you hired engineers, some specialist engineers come and deploy some infrastructure on your account for you. Now this account has been hijacked by hackers. They've changed the password. You have no access to that account. So even though your codes are still in GitHub, but the infrastructure that you suffered to build, you have no access to them. And you can see what that may cost a company. Maybe you've done a lot of security stuff on that account, a lot of development on that account. As I said, you have hired specialists to build certain solutions for you. And then at the end of the day, they charge you hundreds and thousands of dollars, and you have no access to that account because somebody has seen your password and changed your password. So you may even stop the bill by going to your bank and block and maybe block your credit card. But that may even not be the big issue for you. Your issue is that all the work you've done in your account is down gone. I hope it makes more sense now.
Yes, it does. It does. It
Okay,
does.
good, good.
Yeah.
So when you log into your root, so we are just practicing this. We call it best practice. Make sure that you are not always doing this logging in the root account. You go to IAM. So you see the IAM at the top there, or you can search for it, IAM. So you click on it and then you create another user. Maybe you can call that user admin. So go to
Okay.
create user. I think you've already created a user before, right?
Yes, I created a user for with
You
admin
created
rights for
admin privileges. Okay, good. So,
yes to
so it's better
do
to be using that one instead of being log into your root. Because when you log into the admin user, if it has full access, it can do everything you are doing right now. It can do
mm,
everything. But since you've already started the project with the root, you continue, but it is not good practice at
oh,
all. Because the reason why I may not want you to change it right now is that right now, if you change to the maybe admin user, you must have to go and get the access key for that one and now configure your CLI with those credentials. But right now, you've already done those things with the root.
yes, I already
So
done
you
that already.
so you just continue. But after the class, you can do the required, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So please, like Shadrach said, this is a peer contribution. We are all doing it as if this is the first time. So we'll all be contributing and giving me ideas as well as we follow the instructions. All right. So with this, we are supposed to create an S3 storage. Yes, that's what we are supposed to do. And then there are the learning objectives. The things that we are supposed to do, the Terraform workflow, the structure, the configurations, and everything. And in this one, I think we've been given most of the codes, if not all the codes. So we just have to follow the processes and then start. All right. So this is the project folder structure. And the first thing we are supposed to do is we are supposed to create our main.tf file. But before we do that, we have to create a folder where we put our main.tf file. And the first thing is the project 01S3. Okay, so the instructions here, step by step, it says we should make a directory, which is the project 01S3, and then we enter the directory. I'm sure we all know this one because we've done basic Linux. So MK, in fact, let me just copy.
Please magnify the font size of your terminal, okay? Because and
Of the
also if
okay.
possible to magnify the screen, this very screen you're on. Like
Okay.
go to the and increase the good and the terminal to just for the sake of those who watching the recording.
Okay.
So you in the terminal you increase the font at plus plus. Are you on? I think you're on Linux, right?
Yes.
So for Linux, I think it's still the I think Control plus plus. Try let me see.
No, it's not working.
It's not working. What would you use? Try and then zoom in and let me see whether to zoom. Those who are on Linux, how do you magnify your terminal?
Okay, here.
Okay, yeah. Is it working?
Yep.
Okay, good. I think increase it one more time.
Okay.
Good.
All right, so we'll create the name of our project is project 01S3. Okay. So MKDIR projects 01S3, and then done. So we cd into project 01S3, and then we are in. So we create main.tf, which is touch Steve, and then okay. So we have our main.tf file created. Let me open my VS Code. Is the VS, oh no, no. All right, so this is the project folder and then VS Code. All right, so I'm going to open our main.tf. This is our main.tf. Right. So this is the configuration for our Terraform settings, which has the provider and yes, the providers and then the resources. Um, I I don't know. Are we supposed to talk about what the code does? Okay, so basically the provider which we are using is AWS, and the region is US is one. The resource that we are creating, the resource is the resource or the type of project we are trying to do, which is the S3 bucket, and then our bucket's name, Terraform Beginner, which comes with a specific feature, which is the date and the timestamp, which will be created when we do. And then the tags, the name, the environment, the project, and what is managed by. The environment is a learning environment. I think Sharak taught us about what the environment means, the different types of environment and all of that. The resource AWS S3 bucket, and there's the version control. We turn on the settings for version control enabled over here. And this is server-side encryption, which encrypts our data to hide it from hackers, I believe. Yeah. So this is the code. I'm going to copy it and put it in, and then hopefully our S3 bucket will be created when we run the code. So VS Code. Here we go. All right, for main.tf. Okay. And please, contributions and questions, bro.
So I want to know, did you encounter any like errors? Was it difficult? Was it simple?
Well, with this one, when I was doing it on the first one, I didn't really encounter any errors. So I'm hoping this is a different account. This is the account I use for study. I hope this one too I don't encounter any errors and things. Yeah. But if we do encounter errors, we'll try and fix it and solve it together. Okay.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so you said this is the Terraform file or code that is going to set up our S3 bucket.
Yes, please.
So this is just the only file we need for the whole project.
Yes, for now, for the creation of the SD buckets, it's encryption, the bucket name, all the settings would have done in AWS console. If we are creating an SD bucket, we'll do all over here, right? And normally we can get this code from the documentation, Terraform documentation, right? So if we want to create the S3 bucket, we go to the Terraform documentation, you look for S3 buckets like I did earlier, and then we go and copy the structure, and then we edit it as to per our requirements or per the project requirements. So the code here basically it gives us if you watch, okay, so that's the version of Terraform, and then it gives us the provider that we are using, that's AWS. And then we do the provider settings, and then we do the region settings to as well, just like we would have done in the console. And the resources, AWS S3 bucket, name my first bucket, the attacks with regards to it, the environments, the project name too, and then it's managed by Terraform. And the resource, this enable the versioning for the bucket. We add an ID to the bucket. So the bucket has an ID, and we do version control, the configuration, we enable it. So it's going to be version control by Terraform. And like Shadrach was saying earlier, when we put this code, this is a declarative code, right? When we put it in, when we type this code or we put our code in, Terraform is going to do the work for us. We don't need to understand exactly how it's supposed to work. And he said it was like what faith, right? You've prayed and told God that he should do this for you, and God is going to do it. As to how he's going to do it, you shouldn't, concern yourself that much about it, right? But these are the codes for doing all of that. Okay. So the next thing we are supposed to do is we are supposed to Terraform init. So before I knew there was Terraform init, Terraform plan, and Terraform apply, but we learned some new things over here too as well. So we'll start from the first one, which is the Terraform init. Okay, so I'm going back to my VS Code. Is my VS Code big enough? I should hope so. Okay. So Terraform init first. So it's initializing the backend and plugins and all of that. Terraform is in it for me. I don't need to wrap my head about this one. Okay, so Terraform has been successfully initialized. Okay. So we are to format our code mostly. Why is it doing that? Sorry. We have to format our code, and what we use to format our code is a Terraform format. The formatting of the code is supposed to make the code meet, standard. Yeah, it should up to standard like spacing and indentation and all of that. So we'll do Terraform format. Um, okay, Terraform format main.tf done. All right. And then we'll validate the configuration. All right. So this will also check if the configuration that we've done in our code is correct, and it will format it so that it will work properly. Okay, so this Terraform. Check Terraform validated. The configuration is valid, so our code is correct. So we move on to the next. Okay, so now we do our Terraform plan, and it will show us our things that we are going to be added, our resources, sorry. Okay. Okay, so these are the outputs that are going, or the changes that will be made or created when we run this code. I think our AWS region was US East 1. Okay. So now we apply Terraform apply to apply the configuration. And I pray everything runs smoothly. So Terraform apply enter. Do you want to perform these actions? And then yes. So as we can all see, AWS is creating the S3 buckets, creating, giving it the names that we told it to do, and all of that. And I think over here it says apply complete resources, 4 resources added, no changes, none destroyed yet. Okay. And the bucket region is US East 1. All right. So let's go and verify in my AWS console to see if it has been done. And I mean, earlier I've already connected my AWS console to my terminal like Shadrach taught us to do. Yes, and I installed Terraform and all of that. So hopefully it should be okay. So when I check my region, this region is US West 1, but we did it in US East 1. So I doubt if it will be here. Let me just check. S3. Okay. So no. Oh, right. It is here. Okay, so let me open it and see. And there we go. We have our bucket. Let's do bucket. Yep. The environment, we chose learning, managed by Terraform. The name, my first Terraform bucket, project Terraform basics. Everything that was in our code that we set. Terraform has created it for us, you know. So here we have our buckets. Okay, so back to bucket. So back to the project. Yep. Okay. All right, so let's view outputs, Terraform outputs, and see what it brings. So these are our resources, the bucket name, and this is the timestamp that we set in our code, right? And the bucket region is US East 1. Okay. So I think we are done with okay, Terraform output bucket name. We'll see what it gives us. Terraform outputs. Here it's name. Oh, sorry. Okay, so that's the bucket name, Terraform beginner with the timestamp because we set it that way. All right. So we can inspect the state file. So we view our state file to understand what Terraform has tracked. So the state file is this is a file that is automatically created by Terraform, and we are not supposed to touch anything or change any settings in that file, or else our program wouldn't run. So I'm not even going to open it. I'm just going to that's Terraform dot tf state. Okay, so this is the code in over there. And here, like I said, we don't need to understand all these things. So once our bucket, we've been successfully able to create our bucket and it's working. Right. Okay. So yeah, if we are done and we want to destroy the bucket, we just do Terraform destroy and it will destroy. Should I go ahead and destroy it?
If they are all happy with what we've done so far and they understand what is going on, are we
Okay.
all good? Are we all good?
Yes, very actually good.
Okay, please contributions or questions so that then we continue to the next one. Okay. All right, so I'm going to destroy the bucket and then we'll go and check back in our AWS console to see if it's there or not. So Terraform destroy. Do you really want to destroy all resources? Yes. Okay, no. So let's check. Let me reload this. Bucket name Terraform cannot be found. That means it has been destroyed. So our first project is a success by the grace of God. Okay. So I think we are done. This is understanding the code. I believe this one we'll have to learn it on our own to understand. Mm. Okay. So yeah, basically the Terraform block, which gives us where we put the block of codes, the provider where we put our AWS and the settings with the region as well. And the resource block or the resource block of code is where we put in the type of resource. That's either an AWS bucket, a S3 bucket, or a VPC or anything, any of the resources, AWS resources that we are trying to work with. We put it there and we do the settings also there. If there are bucket dependencies or our resource dependencies, we put them also in the code. And the unique naming, that's the date, the format date to um so if you have more than one bucket or more than one resource, what will separate it from the other is the timestamp. You know, the programmers know what the timestamp does when you're creating a code or when you're creating a resource in AWS. The timestamp gives you when it was created, when it was changed, and it also helps in version control. And then Terraform apply and all of that. Okay, so I think we are done with the first one. So the next person can take us to the second one.
Okay,
If
you've done a great job.
Thank you very
Who,
much.
who is ready for the next one?
Okay, so I'll take the EC2.
I love
Let me
that.
stop sharing.
I love that. Okay, let's go.
Okay, hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so Ellie talked much about the data source and other things. So with the EC2, the first thing we have to do is actually for the folder.
We can't hear you. I think you are
Straight with
breaking. Hello? Or am I the only person?
I think
Please
his
come again,
network is even.
variables. So please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Start with the variables, and as he explained, the variables is actually we use it in Terraform because it makes everything flexible, and we use our codes. Then we in our codes again when trying to do another. and I'll create my file. So we'll move to the next one actually, which the next file I have to create about the provider and everything. So I have to copy that file as well and move to my VS Code and create it. So main actually paste everything there. So the next thing, I actually like to paste everything to VS Code before I actually try to explain everything to make it very swift and fast. So the next one I have to create is the output. So I copy that and also paste that in VS Code. So the next one is actually we have to create a Terraform that is the TF file starts to do with the variables. With this one, would okay, let me paste it and explain it actually. So with this one, we actually have to paste our IP address. So for us to be able to find our IP address, that's actually even given in the slides actually. So I think that was five. There's a link for you to be able to find your IP address when working with anything. So that's what is my IP.com. So when you click on it, it's able to detect your IP address for you. So here is it. So you actually just have to copy it and paste it over here. So we clean the one that was being given the slides. Then you paste your current IP address you're actually working with. Then you actually save it. Yeah, so we now come to the main project. Actually, now we've created all our files. So now we actually run it. As I said, Ellie has talked much about it. So we just have to continue. Personally, actually, when I was doing this project, I actually faced some challenges, but I've not actually done any of, I've not actually rectified any of the mistakes in it. I actually want to do it so we see the mistakes and I try to explain how I was able to solve it actually. So the first thing we have to actually do is the Terraform init. So wait for it acts. It actually installs everything at the background. It's taking some time. I don't know why. I don't actually know if it's my network or I don't know why it's taking time actually. Okay, yeah. So it's actually done installing everything. So the next thing we have to actually do is Terraform validate. And with Terraform validate, it actually checks if our configuration files are actually syntactically correct, if everything is actually correct inside. So if there's any mistakes actually inside, it prompts us before you actually do anything. So the next thing is actually Terraform plan. So this shows as Terraform plan actually shows whether Terraform, how do you call it? Shows if Terraform will do anything without making any changes and gives a great review of it actually. So now everything has actually been done. So we now with Terraform, as I said, we're actually facing a problem. It will actually give us an error. The reason to give an error, I was actually wanted to ask say about that because it seems in a slide what he gave with we that we've created a new account especially, it actually conflicts with it because it doesn't really agree with some things. Yeah, so this was the problem I was talking about. It seems in the slides, the type of instance we used was actually the 2T micro. And most of us that have the new account, especially we that we created it recently, I think there is an upgrade with per my research actually, there's an upgrade on AWS. So when using Terraform, I don't know, there's some sort of confliction with it. But since we are actually doing it just for learning purpose, we can do some changes. So I actually changed mine to my instance to T3 micro, which that one is actually for a fee paying. But since we are just using it for a project to actually learn, quickly after we are done, we'll have to destroy it, which it won't bill us for any cost. So we'll have to move to our main. I actually spent most time actually. For me, when I was doing the S3, it was very easy for me. I actually did it swiftly, as well as the VPC. But I don't know, when I came here, I was actually facing a lot of challenges. Before I got to know it was just has to do with um the instance type. So look for where is actually it and change it. So I think we have to go to the variables. Yeah. So we have to change this to T3 macro. We save it there. And let's see if it's anywhere again. Um, okay, so let's try it again. If there's anything, we solve it again. So with this one, actually do the Terraform FMT, which this one actually automatically formats all the codes to be neat for us because we've made some changes. So it does everything in terms of the space indentation and everything. So right now we just Terraform apply. And let's see if it works now. So it's asking if do we have to perform this action? Yes, we actually want to perform this action. So yes. Okay, yes, so it's actually done. So we can move into my AWS account and actually check if it. Okay, yes. So I actually did. So the first say, please, this was how it was actually done. It's like you can see it here. It's actually running. So this was how, like in the slide you gave the type of instance used as T2 micro. But say, please, I don't know if you can explain to all of us the reason why it's not.
I think you have already explained it. Let's go on, yeah. So sometimes it's because of regional issues. Sometimes the T2 micro is not.
Say, please, I've been
Which
able to
which region are you working in?
US
So
is one, Virginia.
yeah, so sometimes the region is a regional issue, but in your case, I think that is just in line with what you are saying. There are some upgrades that have been done recently. So that T2 micro, T3 micro is also on free tier. How many months have you been using this account?
I just created it. It's not yet a month. My own
So I think T3 micro is also free tier eligible. So if T2 is not available, then T3 is also
one
just
got.
another option. Yeah. I think he's breaking, so he's not hearing me.
Say, please, can you come again?
Yes, I was saying that T2, T3, they are both free tier eligible. So if one doesn't
Oh,
work,
okay.
yeah, you can just use the other.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So Elicom, please moderate the rest of the meeting, okay? Where I am, I think
Yes,
I've
sir.
entered the noisy zone. I may not be able to unmute again. But I may be in the call or I may drop off. But Elicom will moderate the rest. Okay, let's go.
Okay, so say, please, this was actually, if any questions, then
Maybe one question before you go. When I saw him change IP, what do you guys think that IP thing was all about? Why do we have to even find our IP and put it in the code? Can someone try to explain? Hello, team. Are we here?
Yes, we are here.
Open your instance. Open the EC2 server. Go to the blue where the instance ID is and click on the blue, the current
okay.
server that's running. No. Go scroll up. Just click on it. Yeah,
Okay.
good. Now scroll up, up. Let's go. Let's see whether I find the security tab. Yeah, security tab. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's over there. Monitoring security. I want to inspect the security groups around it. You see this security group? Okay. Hold on, hold on. I see
Okay.
154. What was your IP address? Can you go back to the code and
I
let's see your IP address? Visual Studio
oh,
Code. Yeah.
okay. So this
TFS. It
my
was 154. Good, 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 good.
yeah.
Okay, so go back to your console. And let's check the security group rules over there. Now look at the rules over there. What can you say about the rules, the inbound rules? There are two inbound rules there, right?
Yeah.
So what do you see about the inbound rules? And how can you explain them? The question is not only
Okay,
to him,
so
anyone can answer. Yeah, go ahead.
so with the inbound rules, it's actually allowing how do you call it? Ports
Traffic.
to into which is someone talking.
Anyone wants to
Sir,
help
please
him?
can you?
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
hear
we can hear
you.
you. Please go ahead.
Who wants to help him?
So, okay, let me try. I believe the inbound rules there is given permission to gain access to the EC2 from that IP address. So if probably we hadn't changed the IP address, we wouldn't have gotten permission to use because that was a different IP address.
Okay. So what port is that permission allowed? So there's
Sorry?
inbound allowed. So inbound is allowed on what port?
Yeah, forgotten the port
No,
now.
the port is there. It is there.
Okay, 22.
Yeah,
Port
port 22.
22.
What is port 22 used for?
Port
Good
22.
share.
It's for
SSH.
what? SSH. Good. So that's what we used to. Do you remember mobile XTEM? Did I let you guys install mobile XTEM?
No.
Okay, but you know that we
Except
can
for
use
private.
SSH. Yeah, you do know we can SSH into the server, right? You all know about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We done SSH. So this means that nobody can ever SSH into this server except you.
Yes, yeah.
That's what it means.
Mm.
So the reason why we added the IP address was because it will also be picked later on in the code for to assign this particular security group rules. So maybe later on when you are free, look for the where this security group rule was configured in the Terraform code. So even in Terraform, we can define these security group rules, right?
Mm.
What we allow to access our resource, what we deny from accessing our resource. It has all been defined in the code. So the hard code of the IP address that you put inside there, it was picked into a specific variable and later on used to form or create the security group rule. And it was attached to the server. So that's why we had to add our IP address so that only our laptops or computers can
Can use
SSH
SSH.
into. Yeah. So in case
Okay.
you move to another location and then the SSH is not working, it means that maybe your IP address has changed. So this is a security measure, right? Okay, that's just that. Okay, let's continue. So Eli can moderate the meeting. Let's continue.
Yes, sir. Okay. So I think this is Mike. So Mike,
Yeah.
you are done. Okay, so we've seen the EC2 instance running and our project seems to be complete. So thank you very much. The next project,
Please destroy your resources.
yeah, please describe. Okay, so the next one is a VPC network arch. That one, please, who would want to take us through that one? Through the VPC.
Please, if no one is willing, I can take through that one.
Okay, 1 second. So team going to Mike if nobody is willing. All right, sure. The Mike, please kindly take us through that one too as well.
Yeah, I'm destroying it. So I think when it's done.
Okay.
But say I wanted to ask, so with the um, you know, the output, the files being given. So like for instance, with the web lattice, it has a lot of files. So like the security, the output and everything. Say, are we the ones actually going to hardcore with that one? Or that one is actually also provided.
Can you come again?
Say, please, I was saying, with the files, especially with the web app stack. I don't know if anyone has started with that, but with that one, it has a lot of files actually, like the security, the
Yeah,
output.
yeah. That one has
Yeah.
a
So,
modular
so I was
architecture.
asking,
Yeah.
yeah, I was asking if that one we actually hardcore through those codes or it's actually provided. copy and paste like how we are actually doing here?
I think everything was provided for you. But there may be some debugging in there, just like what you debug here.
Yeah, say yeah, I get it,
Okay,
but
did
I'm
you show
saying
us
in real
outputs
life
even?
terms.
You mean real life?
Yeah,
It
so would
depends
they
on what
just
you are
give it as
doing.
so we
Or you
oh,
can use
okay.
right now. I'm telling the truth, most engineers use AI to generate most of this stuff. But you must know exactly
Oh,
what you
okay.
want. Do you get it? For
Yeah.
instance, when you are doing it for a company, you must be able to tell the AI how it should even configure the security group rules for you and stuff like that. So
Okay.
when it gives you the code, you will inspect what has given you. Maybe if the permissions are too open, then you have to apply principle of least privileges to reduce certain permissions or check certain security configurations and what have you. So the AI may not necessarily give you all that you want, but since you understand it, you know how to
Okay.
tailor it towards what you want. Yeah. And I was asking even what you just did you check the outputs? I saw because I saw output.tf, meaning that we were expecting some outputs after deployment, or you forgot to let
Oh
us see that
yeah,
one.
but I did okay. The
Don't worry,
next
don't worry.
one
In the
too.
next one, yeah, let us just see it in the terminal
Okay.
so that I think I
Okay.
mentioned it in the other class, but I've not yet done a demo on it. So this opportunity to do that.
Okay.
But so
Okay,
in case
sir.
I even drop off the call, please make sure you show them the outputs after the terminal code runs. They will
Okay.
just see all the outputs there. Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay, so we move to the next project, which is the VPC. So with that one, actually, in the slides, it has an architecture flow of how everything will actually be done. So first we have our public subnet with and our public subnet too. The route table actually, you know what the route table actually does actually. So then below we have our private subnet and the internet gateway. So we move to our creation of our files actually. So as usual, we start with the first one, which has then the next one, which is the main, we copy that code as well. And we create a file for that. Do the output. Okay, so we actually done with creating of our files. So what we always do after I've created our files is to initialize it. So go with the Terraform in it for it to install everything for us. Oh, we actually wait for it to actually install. Okay, yeah, so it's actually done. So the next thing is actually the Terraform plan. And we Terraform applies. So yes, we wait for it as it actually creates a VPC for us. So as we wait for it, actually it's time to explain the outputs I was talking about. So the output is actually a way Terraform used to shows the importance of the values after creating the infrastructure. So as you can see, as Ellie finished with everything, he was able to use the Terraform output to be able to show like each and every um, codes he actually used in terms of being able to see the IP address, the URLs, and other things. So it's actually done creating. So we actually move to our terminal to actually see if it's really there. And here we go. So we actually have our Terraform VPC created in the terminal. So this is it. All right. So please, this is it. We actually know what the VPC actually stands for, the Internet Gateway. We actually know that if you are working with um private, you don't want it to actually come out. You actually have to use the NAT gateway. So to be able to use it privately, yeah, we actually know that with engineer Joe's class, he actually taught us more about that with that. So yeah, so with the outputs I was talking about. So we go into our terminal and okay, so said the Terraform output actually gives details about everything we want to actually see. So even if you don't want to actually move to the terminal, you can actually have to the architectural structure, which was being given a slice from the first side, and see that you can actually have everything here. So you can actually be able to tell your private subnet IDs from this side without going to the and everything. So this is actually with the VPC as well. It's as I think this one is as smooth as um if any question.
Any questions for Mike before we move on to the next one?
Yeah, no
Any
question.
questions, any contributions? Okay.
Yeah, no questions.
All right. So I believe we can move on to the
Okay.
next.
See.
Does anyone want to help us? Eben, I see you. I see you, Eben. Do you want to help us with the next one? Hello?
We are on 4, eh?
Yeah.
Yes, the 4.
Yes, the 4.
Okay. All right, let me step in. Yes, I said.
Okay.
All right, sure. Well, thank you very much, Mike. You have been very, 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 very helpful.
All
Right.
right.
So
Thank you.
everybody be on standby so that when the event is done, you know.
But I'm actually on the 4, and that's why I'm actually struggling a lot. I'm
Oh,
having a lot
okay.
of challenges there.
Over there. All right, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, so you to also be on standby to contribute, and then we ask questions and we figure it together. I didn't get to
Oh,
the
okay.
full yet. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start sharing it.
Sure, please go ahead.
All right.
Okay, so um I would so we have to create a web app start that and deploy the that's a tier 3 tier application. And these are the things that we need. We need load balancers, we need our EC2. We also have to get a Ray PC. We have to write up our target groups, and then we'll need a database says also, then some other few things. So first of all, we'll create, I'm actually going to use my terminal for the whole thing. I may not use the VS Code. So that's,
Okay.
yeah. So I'll use my terminal from beginning to
You're
end.
using Nano.
Yes.
Okay.
So wherever I want, I'll create my folder here. So I'll go to Open Bash here. Okay, so we'll create our folder, make directory. Let's name it, say, web app.
Then we would cd into web app. So we're now going to create the various files that we need. So looking at the plan here, the network mapping here, we have our instances. We need three, because it's a tier 3, we'll create three EC2 instances. And each of them is going to have a private and a public IPs. We are also going to do an auto scaling, and then also attach load balances, that's the ABL. And there will be internet also connected. That means we also need a NAT gateway attached. We are also going to create a database also in our private subnet where all our data that will be provided by the just like we did for the students dashboard with Engineer George. So the information will be stored in this database. So there's layer 1, layer 2, and layer 3. So we have the ABL public facing. There is SSL termination. We also have web service, which will be auto scale, and then the database. All right. And this is the structure for the folder. So we have a folder being named web app. You can name it however you want. I think we were supposed to name it projects for web app. So if you are using the terminal mkdir, then the folder name that you want, you give it. It will create, when you write cd, you would open the folder you have created and then add your files. So the first file we are going to create is main.tf. So to create that file, you go nano, and then you name main.tf. So that when you enter, it will open the editor, and then we can now add so what we'll do is that we'll just go and then copy the code and then paste it here. Yeah, so these are main.tf. So we copy. Control C doesn't work in this, so we just right click and then we paste. All right. So to
I think
save,
Control Shift sometimes works.
Control Shift works.
Yes, Control Shift
Okay.
and then yeah.
Okay. So we paste our code here. So this is our main.tf. You can see that we are using Terraform and the version 5.0. The provider is AWS. We are also I think this is the filter. Okay, let's just save this. So we can do control O, and then you enter, and then you go with Control X to exit. If you want to check if you have it, you can just do cat, and then you name the file to open for you to view. We go to the next one. I think the next one is we are creating the variables. So just like we learned, the variables are some of the things that we need where their information will be recurrence. So whenever we mention that's a variable name, what we have, the value that it has stored is what will appear. So for our region, for instance, we are storing US East 1 inside this. So whenever in any code, any of our files, we mention AWS region, it will bring out the value US East 1 for us. Also, the project name, we are also giving it a project name, web stack. So whenever there is a project name, web stack will come. For our VPC, these are the default settings.
And then for our availability zones, also we have US is 1A and then 1B, so on and so forth. So basically, and then also we may have to set a password if necessary to this one. So what we have to do is we just copy and then we do nano, and these are our variables. So variables dot tf. Okay, then we just paste our code. All right. So we exit. So Control O, you enter. Control X will bring us back. The next file that we need to create is the network.tf. So let's just copy. So this one is giving us how we want our network skin to be done. So we have our VPC. We also have our internet gateway. The other is the IP addresses. Okay, then we also have the public IP addresses and then the private IP addresses. Other resources that we'll need is the route table. So these are the configurations we need on the route table. And then the association. So we are also associating our route table to our public subnet. So that's the information that is here. So we'll just copy. So nano this is for network. So nano network dot tf. Then we just paste. Okay. So Control O, enter, Control X. The next file we need to create is the security. So the security groups also, if you remember, we needed to assign certain security policies to the load balancer. So that is what is we are describing here in this file. So we have security group, that's the AL for our load balancer. So as we're trying to explain here, it's been exposed, port, we are allowing port 80. Then we also have AWS security group. Okay, so there will also be access to the web. And also that, so that one too, we are allowing port 80 for that one. And then we are allow all outbound is 0. So from there we have AWS security group, then the RDS. So that one too, we define the security that we want to attach to this. So we are allowing port 3306 as, yeah. If you want more details, you can just copy the code and then paste it in AI for more explanation. So we go nano security dot tf. We paste our code here. I think I've not copied it, so we'll see. Okay, so that's it. Wait, did I copy the right thing? Please check for me.
Security.tf.
I don't think so.
It looks like scroll up and let's see.
Let me just
Recopy. You can cut. Okay.
control K. Sorry, guys. So I'll copy and paste here. And we are going to go, yes. Yeah. Control O, enter, Control X. The last one, well, just goes ahead straight and then create it without any. That's the complete. Okay. So we can save it. All right. So this one is database. The last, I think, is the output. Okay, so we can just have a look as we run ls to list the things in our directory. So we have compute database main.tf network output security.tf, then variables. Then we have the last one here for the password. So let's copy terraform.tf. So remember, so since we have all the files we need, we'll just go ahead and then initialize. So Terraform, initialize. I remember when I was running it, there was a
a typo error in one of the codes, so I had to remove that and before the initiation could go through.
No, okay.
Initialization could go through, yeah.
Mm.
So after this one, we validate and then we run our Terraform plan and see what happens. One other thing is that for if you are using what happened was I created I am a user and I had not set the permissions, that is what's which infrastructure I'm allowing my user to access to. So when I started running the validate and then I was prompted to give access. So I had to go back
Okay.
to
We
my root
do the
account to
policy.
give the access.
Okay.
So I had to give access to, I think, three things. Let me see. Yeah, I hope I'm not close. Yeah, so if you can see, this is my user, the I am user that I am actually use for this work. And you can see there are a lot of, when I go to the home page, okay, so this is my this is the root user, the root account. Let me see the permissions that I've assigned to this user. So when I click on it, okay. So because we are using EC2, we need to give access to EC2. We need access to the RDS. We need access to S3 and then VPC. Okay, so we have to give access from the root user, the root person would have to give access to the user to be able to use it. Otherwise, when you run the codes, when you do the Terraform, you run the Terraform commands, they may not go through. All right, so we can see that the Terraform has successfully initialized. The next step is to run so Terraform validates. Yeah, so these are the 5 things I had to allow before I actually go ahead. Yeah. So what you just need to do is maybe if you want EC2, you just type in here, maybe EC2, EC2. So you get these 2 options you select. You also will need VPC. So you just click here and then you click on add permissions like this. So you click the first one, add permissions, and then you pick the last one here, the attach policy directly. You select this one and then continue. Since I've done that, I will not repeat it. So you do that for VPC S3, the RDS, and then EC2. Those are the what we actually need to for our thing to run. All right. Hey, still, Please let's hang on small. Eh? Okay. So I think I've had a similar issue here. So there is an error prompt that has, so what I did was I just copied these prompts here. It says the on main.tf line 13 in provider, the region that we assigned, I think it may not be matching with what we, so let me see. So I'm in US East 1. Okay. So we can go to this one and then check the code where. So nano main.tf. Then you've not specified the region inside this code. So let me do the debugging quickly and then get that. So let me add the error message here. So, okay, so you said what is missing? So region is PAR AWS, okay, but we never declared the input variable. Okay. So I think we didn't state the region, the available zone in our main.tf, so we will just run it. So I'll go to nano main.tf. So
I think if it's the region you actually want to change, you have to go to the variables.
was described it so guys. So let me quickly. I think I did it in another folder. So let me copy the ones there and then just paste them here so that we can go forward. This one. Okay. So this one has gone through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Terraform apply. Well, let me check my. So I've not given permission for the user to even see the various apps that are running. So when I open my the user console, I may not see the instances that are running. So that is one of the issues. Okay, so yes, so with this terminal, it will ask you, do you want to perform these actions? So you just type yes, and we can see the changes or what. So we have ALB DNS name, then we have the ALB URL, RDS endpoints, the VPC ID. That's the outputs that have been created, have been delivered so far. All right. So when we check here, we can see the two instances have been created. Let's check VPC. These are web app VPC. So you can see the mapping. So my web app public mapping to the route table. That's the public routing to this. And then this is the we made two instances. So this is the first one, and this is the second one in other AWS zone. So 1B and then 1A. The note that the private ones are not linked to a web app. Then we can see also the network configurations also. We have the internet gateway, which connects our web app to our EC2. Or sorry, our VPC, that's a virtual private cloud. So our EC2 VPC, that is the one housing our EC2. Okay, so let's check if we are done here. Attack. 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . . 。 . 。 . 。 . So at the end of the day, we are going to get the URL for our web app. So when we put that into our web browser, we'll be able to see our web app. Is any questions? So that's, I'm sure by the time we'll be done, we'll just any additions.
Any questions, suggestions from anyone? So that we continue. I think a few have dropped off. So.
Yeah, life is just it's one of the there's also an error here. I think let me check RBSDB.
I think yeah, this was where I was actually having problems with as well.
And
The database.
let me
Let's see the error again. Let's see the error again.
Okay, so the error is that it says that's waiting for R. So I think because it's trying to create the RDS, DBS, but there's something wrong with the code. That is why it's also delaying. So
Okay.
let me just put it inside the actual PC and then
Okay. And then can we see the code if we can find where the code is?
yes, sure.
With mine, I don't actually know, but it was actually telling me, I think something in the code was not actually correlating with the free tier. So I wasn't able to create the database.
I mean, I lost the free tier, so I'm a paid. I'm
I was
paid.
hoping
I lost it, I think, a month or two. I don't know. I was just clicking. I don't know.
I
That's not
I don't
alone.
know. Wasn't coming. I
I
tried
loaded,
something.
I
I
put
don't
some
know.
apps on before I knew I had I had incurred some losses. Um,
Yeah, I've
just let me see. Okay, so let me put the error message here. Okay, okay. I think I might have paused it because it was delaying. I was trying to just copy one of these. I did a control C, copy
And
something
then
for the
shut it
minute.
down.
Dot. Any idea how to, I think, because it's not like there's a problem with the code, possibly it's not available.
You scroll down and see.
so I think since you've interrupted it, it has to start again.
Yeah, if you can run it and then later.
So I should run the apply.
Yes.
Yeah, the apply again.
Again.
So if possible, the FMT then apply to get everything.
If possible,
The FMT to since you've done some changes, you just to get everything in line again, then apply.
Scroll up and let me see again. Scroll up and let me see something over here.
so we could have done Terraform refresh, Terraform apply.
Right.
Because right now, I think because I did the apply, it has to destroy what we created earlier.
Mm.
I start all over.
Um, does it have to do with permissions? I doubt.
No. I've done all the permissions.
Okay. Let's wait for it to
I
finish
think
and then we'll see.
because it was taking a while to. I actually clicked. I was trying to copy one of the outputs and then just read about it, and
It's stopped.
yeah, we stopped everything.
So you let's allow it to finish and we will see the errors. Hmm.
Actually, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to load this
Mm.
particular one.
Yeah, I think the resources are a lot.
Resources are a lot, so
But I would advise when we finish, I mean, all of us, we should we should go through all the projects again from the one to the five, individually, and then take the screenshots so that when we even encounter the problems, we'll be able to do it on our own, fix it on our own. This will just be a guide to help us, you know.
as for this one, I was able to work on it to the end, but I don't know with the what I used. So it's now creating one.
Mm. Mm. That was a distraction. Hey.
Okay, but I'm sure it will just start from the DBS because the VPC is still there.
Mm. Mm. Still crazy.
This one is not an error, but it looks like the same a euro. It still seems to struggling to get it down.
Yes.
We are about maybe when it's able to go through, and we will send feedback to our various group pages. Ah, okay.
Apply complete.
Okay.
Let's see. VPC ID created. I think it has worked, right?
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
That's what. So
Wow,
the
finally.
URL.
You can check in your console. This is actually come.
Okay, so let me share the link with us and see if it's, or let me read from here. Mhm. Okay. So it has worked.
Yep. Finally.
That's really stressed you today.
I can't come to close, you know. Okay. So I think so far we are done with this one.
All right. I think it's 10 now, and even most of us have even dropped. So I think we'll end it here, and then at the end, I mean we'll end it here, and then we'll individually try and go through, I mean do the projects this week before next week. And also try our hands on the fifth one as well. And when we have challenges, we'll come and then fix that one two together. Because at least we've gone through the first four, so everybody should be able to do the first four successfully. And then we send it, we take screenshots and send a PDF to Shadrach in the group. So yeah, thank you all for coming. Thank you very much, Mike, and thank you very much, Ebenezer, for helping us. You've been of great help. Have a nice week, and then we'll meet again.
Okay. Good evening. Have a good evening, everyone.
All right.
See you next weekend.
Sure.